Welcome to another Q Audio podcast. I'm DC Poobah of Q Audio and Q Archives. And today we're going to have another episode of Life in Bali, which is the weekly respite from all that Zen nonsense. I pray that you and yours are safe and comfortable and free from economic distress and able to get out and do whatever it is you want within the limitations of do as little harm as possible. Today's guest is Gus Awan, and he's going to come on in just a second. That's not true. After saying that, I blabbed for a while. So Goose will come in at just a little before 25 minutes into the podcast. He's on the staff of the place where Katrinka and I just stayed. And I say the name quite a bit, but I'll say it here. Floating Leaf Eko-luxury Villa. It's in Sukawati. It's only half an hour from our home, but it's about as far away as I've gotten in a while. And actually had 2 nights away from home. And, it's a really nice place. And, they have big discounts because of the COVID virus. We were the only guests there. Katrinka's friends with the owner, the female side of the ownership. She's president of BWA, Bali International Women's Association, Putu. And you'll hear Putu being mentioned in the podcast. They were gone pretty much all day Thursday, taking with other women in BWA, taking food and supplies and meeting with elders in a bunch of the poorest communities in Bali over on the east side. So that's how they know each other, through stuff like that. We arrived on Wednesday, 2 o'clock or something, 3 o'clock. And, oh man, it is nice. They bring you this really nice drinks. I think it was like kombucha, no alcohol in it. It had a free 1-hour massage. Well, it came with staying there. It's just a beautiful place. Look, just Google it and you'll see it, and you can read about it there. Floating Leaf Eko-luxury Villa. And so we got 30% off, and it includes breakfast. And the breakfast is good. Everything is good, very high quality food. And that's not necessarily true at all if you travel. I mean, you can be used to getting just the same old, you won't starve with their breakfast. Nothing inspiring at all in a lot of places. But this is good. Unusual stuff. We had this morning, I never get pancakes, but I got their pumpkin pancakes with coconut yogurt and fruit. That's what I got for breakfast. Oh, and they brought me mixed fruit juice. And the fruit was, cut up in little pieces. Mango, dragon fruit, papaya. Was that it? Usually you get some banana and pineapple, but they didn't do that. Anyway, it was good. It's good, and their dinners are good. So here, I'll get a little more into price here. The dinners were really good. And so we had 2 dinners there, like fish in Bali spices was one dinner with sort of potato fritter and then a walnut mango salad, and anyway, good. And so the dinners and all the extras we got there added up to about $35 a night. And our stay there was the same. Really nice room, really good attention to detail. And then I know it's not good forum to talk about money, but I like to, because it lets you know if you can afford it or not. So it cost us $35 a night to stay there. Now what can you stay? All right, so it's 30% off, right? 30 times what is 0.30 times what is $35. So let's say $50 a night without the discount. But if you looked at it and saw it, you'd think, oh, that's a place a few $100s a night, surrounded by rice fields, excellent staff, really incredible. And they tend to cater to yoga retreats and stuff like that. And so today, right before we left, or a couple hours before we left, I sat down with Gus, who was pretty much running the place today. I asked him how big the staff was, because when we left, we wanted to leave a tip for staff. There were 24 staff. It's a big place. Really? Well, their gardens alone. And then Katrinka said, well, how big's the staff that takes care of us? He says, well, we share tips among everybody. That's nice. But there's somebody in the kitchen. There's an office person that was there. There was the masseuse, who, wasn't there all the time, just sometimes. There was somebody who was, cleaning and taking care of rooms. We saw a gardener outside. But we didn't see that much. They have a beautiful pool. And it's nice and long. It's good for swimming laps. I don't hang out in pools, I just like to swim and get out. It was really nice. All right. So in this chat, this phone chat, it's not a phone chat this time, this interview or this discussion, I used for the first time this weekend my iPhone. Every other podcast I've done that has a guest, I've used my Blue Yeti mic, and maybe right at first I had another mic I used, but it's a good mic too, until the Blue Yeti arrived. I can't remember. But, and I have earphones over my ears, and we talk on the phone, and I either use Skype, MP3 for Skype to record them, or I use Call Note. And both of those programs give you a separate track for the what they call the author, which is me, and the participant, which makes editing way more, easier to get in. And like if I'm talking over somebody, I can just blank out where I'm doing that. And various things, the interfaces where we're talking, I can make them really smooth. I can move what they're saying and what I'm saying, so they're not on top of each other if I want to keep them, that sort of thing. I really like that. But this was really convenient just to record with the iPhone. And I have a new iPhone. I have an SE, which is a new type. It's smaller and cheaper. And I hated to buy it because cheap iPhones are expensive, but I had to. My other one was, oh God, I don't know. It was a 5. I've had it 8, 9 years. I don't know how long, and it was having some problems. It just went out a couple of times inexplicably, and finally get going again. So I had to get another one. It's too important. It's one of my tools. All right. So anyway, I was pretty pleased with it. I have to be more careful because I didn't want to spend much time editing, right? And I didn't. I just cut out one little thing where an employee came up and talked to him. So that's cool. I want to say one thing about being at this place. Katrinka's always making little comments about, me working too much. And I do have this, I'm always just trying to keep up with everything. And I take on too much. But one reason is because I'm not working all the time. I take time off. I follow the news. I don't spend a great deal of time, surfing the web. Very little. It's all got some reason. And I can't look at everything everybody sends me. I look at maybe 10% of it or something like that. I work really fast, and there's just a lot happening. So, and I always feel a certain amount of pressure, I keep going, make all these posts on my blogs and, keep the website up to date. And if, something happened, like Loring Palmer having died recently, put a lot of time into beefing up his page, getting, being in touch with people and that sort of thing. So anyway, I'm here at this place. And then the first interview or discussion I did was not with Gus. It was with Miga, who was there the day before taking care of us. And it went on longer. Gus's is not that long. It's like 30, 35 minutes or something. Gus and I went on for an hour and 12 minutes. So that made it 35 megabytes in my iPhone. And to email it to myself has a 25 megabyte limit. And I didn't even know that. I just discovered that doing this because I have never made a file that big on an iPhone. So then I had to figure out how to get it to me. So I knew, well, iTunes can do that. So I looked into it. And then I see there's this program, iMazing. And it said, iTunes is a hassle, is sort of what it said. This makes it really easy to do all sorts of things in interfacing with Apple products and your PC or Mac. So I went, oh, okay, cool. And then I checked with PC Magazine. I don't buy anything or download anything free or anything without checking some reputable sources. And hey, the last one before this one, Neil Rubin King had written the article. Our old Zinni friend. I can't remember what it was for, but that's really cool. He's an old timer at PC Mag and started a lot of his computer stuff in the basement of Zen Center, and he had a big, big sign on the circuit breaker. Do not turn off. He had all these computers going and stuff. Yeah, he got into it early, and he was an early expert in batch files. Hey, maybe we get him on here someday. We're in contact on Facebook. So anyway, PC Magazine gave iMazing a top rating. So I went, okay, great. And then I look into it, and it says, so I download it and everything, and then it wants me to buy it. It's not a free program. So it's $49.99, for 2 devices, or $59.99. They had a special deal for unlimited. And I thought, well, what if this really works well and I want to do it, and then maybe Clay can do stuff? I'll pay the extra $10, and that's a year. And, I don't pay for much, I'll tell you. And As a matter of fact, I probably could have called my tech guy and he just gotten it for me. But of course, that's unethical, so I wouldn't do that. But I had problems. It didn't work. It was the weirdest thing happened. When on an iPhone you record with voice memo, so I connected the iPhone to the computer with cable, and I could get everything over there, but the file named Miga, I called it Miga, LIB, Life in Bali. When I transferred it, it would have another name, and I'd play it. It would be another file. The Miga was an hour and 12 minutes long. This was some 2-minute thing where I got some idea from a song from long ago, and I couldn't get anything. It was so frustrating. I want to tell you, I spent hours because it made no sense. And I've been dealing with computers for over 30 years, and that can't be. Well, every once in a while something comes up that just defies everything and it's just a glitch or something. But I finally gave up, and I'd spent too much time being frustrated, and I really wanted to get it done because I wanted to use it here, and so I didn't even have iTunes, but so I downloaded iTunes, which is free, and then just looked in how to do that, and it was easy and it worked. So then later today I got an email back from iMazing, which is in Switzerland, and asking me questions, this and that, and I told him, look, I know you got a great program, and I said, I got this glitch, but it didn't work, and it was the opposite of what your advertising said, and I think that's probably just this case, and it's quite likely the problem's in my computer, but I had to use iTunes, and I don't need your program anymore, so I want to get money back, and I want to get, the purchase reversed. And so tell me how to do that, or I can just call the number that'll be on the bank statement. So that happened. Post note here. I got an email like a few hours later from iMazing saying that the charges had already been reversed. So not only do they get good write-ups in PC Magazine, but they were some places are hard to get the charges changed. I was paying $4 a month for the New York Times because of the election and everything, because I wanted to have a little more access. And then I noticed it was $12 a month. It changed. I hadn't noticed something. It was hard to figure out how to get hold of them. But once I finally did, they just returned it to $4 a month. But now I've got to keep my eye out for when it goes back to $12 a month. But iMazing, they didn't do that. They were good. So I made this recording with the iPhone. The quality is okay on the recording. Now, I purposely recorded it outside with him with the sound of this little, it's not a waterfall, but it sounds like a waterfall. And the music playing. They have really good music. And that's a nice thing because a lot of places have crappy music. They have really good music that the owner, the American side of the ownership, chooses. And it's really good. It's really nice. All sorts, a real variety, but cool music, nothing irritating. Certain amount of jazz, a little bit of folk, a little bit of rock, a little bit of world music, like some Indian music, some Indonesian music, traditional. A lot of mellow stuff. Every once in a while, something like Stevie Wonder singing something. It's good. so I left that on in the background, and there was, and there was the waterfall sound. So I listened to it, and that was pretty high. So with noise reduction, I reduced that somewhat, and but I left it there because if I reduce it too much, then it makes the voices real thin, and it's sort of nice having that for the ambience. So listen, well, there's only one other thing I wanted to say, and that is that, I got up this morning and it's like a little vacation, and I just go downstairs, and the first thing I do is swim. And the water's sort of, like not cold, right, in the morning. And then I had some hot water. I came back and put on some, I put on some swim trunks, and bigger swim trunks. But I wear swim trunks a lot just to walk around, that are sort of like Bermuda shorts size. And, a T-shirt, and went and got some hot water. And then I just did my walking meditation, walking around. The place is so big, and it's really unusual design. You can go up on the top on the yoga deck and go out in these little sitting areas. And I went and sat there. And then it was time for Katrinka and me to take a walk. And so we walked for about 30 minutes to get to this field where they have a walkway, especially, for locals or tourists to go into the right field. And it's really nice. As a matter of fact, I saw a sign. I think it was being done by a university. And that was really nice. But it was getting hot, and we left at 8 in the morning. It was getting hot. And this year, I can say for the first time that it's getting hotter. We're feeling hotter this year. I always say, well, it didn't feel hot to me. And our home, it's all shaded and everything. And we don't put on air conditioning except when we sleep at night. Katrinka likes to do that because it keeps all her clothes and everything dry. But during the day, we just use fans. Well, she brought a fan from the Bali out in front, sort of like a stage in front, a stand-up fan, in to add to the ceiling fan today. And I've noticed it. I've noticed it working in the kitchen. I've got to turn on the kitchen fan, not a stove fan. We have a fan in the kitchen. Just in the morning, I've noticed it's definitely hotter. Now, we'll see if that continues. I do fear that it's going to continue on an upward slope. Maybe not constantly upward, but I fear the worst. We walked for about an hour and a half, came back. We sat in this little place to, had some orange juice. The lady made it from oranges. And although when she brought it to the table, I had forgotten to say without sugar, tapagula. And so she said, no problem. Went back, made me another. And then I said, hey, did you drink that? She said, yeah. I said, I'll treat you to it. She said, no, don't worry. And then they came and picked us up. We walked there, but it was a long walk down the it's a country road, but there's a lot of motor scooters going by and a few trucks and stuff. So they came and picked us up because we had to get back in time for Katrinka to get her massage and have breakfast and get ready to go. But anyway, it was a nice day, and I thought, I need to have a little more of this in my life, and there's just no need to be trying to do everything all the time. There's just slow down, and you don't have to do everything, and take your time. Anyway, just wanted to tell you that. Okay, well, that's enough of all that. Let's get going here with Gus Awan. So, look, it says we're in Gianyar.
Yeah.
So, Gus.
Yes.
So, what's your full name now?
Oh, well, actually, my full name is Ida Bagus Putra Sudawan. That's a very long name for a Balinese.
You're a Brahmin.
You know that.
Oh, yeah. Ida Bagus is
Yes.
Brahmin. Ida Bagus.
It's coming from the Brahmin case.
Yeah. Now, say your whole name again. I want to hear it.
Ida Bagus Putra Sudawan.
Where's the Gusti?
Gus actually derives from Bagus.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah. You know the meaning of Bagus?
Well, I know the Bagus that means great.
Handsome, even though I'm not that handsome.
Oh, really? Oh, Bagus means handsome?
Yeah.
But if we say Bagus,
Great.
that's
Good.
great. Is
Also-
that from the same word?
Yes, the same way. Word Bagus can be handsome, can be great, can be good. It depends on the next sentence that attach.
It depends on the context.
Yeah, that's right. It depends on the context. This glass is bagus. It means this glass is great. You are bagus. You are handsome.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, there's many words for great, and there's other words for handsome. What's your job here at Floating Leaf Eko-luxury Retreat, or Floating Leaf for short?
Resort. So I'm here as a front office staff. Yeah, I've been working here for almost 5 years, and I love my job. So I'm glad that I'm here. I met Mikaku, I met Putu, and then starting from the day I work here, I feel like I am entering a great family.
Yeah. But so you met Mikako. He's the American owner, and Putu is his wife, the Indonesian owner.
Yeah, that's right.
And she's from Bali. She's from Bali?
Yeah.
Oh, she's from Lombok.
Yeah, but she has a Balinese blood.
Right.
On her.
She's Balinese royalty that had to run away to Lombok because of some struggle or something.
So yeah,
Something like
something like that.
I'm going to do a podcast with her, so I'll ask about that.
Yeah,
with
you can
her.
ask her for details.
So you've been here at Floating Leaf 5 years.
Almost 5 years. The
Yeah.
next May will be my 5th year here.
So what's it like here?
One word to describe this place: family.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No need a long word to describe the place here.
Mm-hmm.
Just one word is enough: family.
But you have this big yoga room. I mean, you have this big empty room upstairs with a beautiful wood floor on the.
Actually, it's a bamboo floor.
Oh, that's a bamboo floor. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh! Right. Wow. There's bamboo floors in America too. They're expensive. Only very wealthy people get. Maybe here too.
Yeah, it depends on if you know locals, you get cheap.
Yeah.
In my place in Bangli, we have the bamboo forest. Maybe someday if you want to go there, it's a great place. The place called Penglipuran. It's kind of like a traditional village. It's in one road, and then you have the bamboo forest next to it. It's a beautiful place. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to go there. But I'd want to stay somewhere because I don't like to drive a lot in one day. And it's pretty far. How far from here? 2 hours?
No, it's 45 minutes.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
45 an hour to get there to get in the village itself. It only takes like an hour.
Really?
Yeah,
So
it
we could
does.
go from here.
Yeah, you can go here in the morning and then walk to the village and then walk to the bamboo forest.
I'd be interested. And but that's near Mount Agung, huh?
No.
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 No, it's far away from Mount Agung.
Oh,
So from
okay.
here you go over there, and then you find the Lebih Beach. Turn left. It's close. Yeah.
Oh, is it cooler there where you
Yeah.
in Bali?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Do you have any? I think you told me it's the least touristed place in Bali.
Yeah. You can say it like that because in my regency, it's a part of the regency, Bangli regency. So it's less touristy. It's more like the nature, and then rice field, bamboo forest, and then the touristy places in Bangli just only few right now. But our tourism government. My friend works there. I have a friend work there. Is trying to make Bangli more famous. We have the museum of a mountain, Batur Mountain, the volcanic museum in Kintamani. Yeah.
Oh, you're by Kintamani. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, and then we also
That's Mount Batur.
Mount Batur, and then we also have the Trunyan village. Trunyan village is like in Bali we have Baliaga. Baliaga is like the native people of Bali. One of them is in Trunyan village.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Trunyan village is the unique of that village is that when someone passed away, they do not bury it, they do not burn it, they just laid it on the ground.
Or don't they put them next to trees?
Yeah,
sometimes?
the menyan tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, based on the tale, based on the history, that trees is just like a tree that make a very very perfumed tree a long time ago, and then to avoid people attack that village, the villager put the body by the ground to reduce the perfume aroma, so people don't know the place.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is really something.
And our government is trying to make it better right now, so people will know how to reach that place.
Now, I know there's one of those villages. What do they call the people again? The original people?
Bali Aga.
Bali.
Aga. Aga.
Bali Aga.
Yeah.
Bali Aga. I know there's one down in the crater of Batur.
That's right.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Trunyan.
Now, I've been to another, I think, Bali Aga village near here.
Tenganan.
Where is that?
It's in Karangasem Regency.
Yeah.
They are famous with their clothes, the traditional clothes called pegring singan. It's like a traditional fabric. They made it with natural coloring, and everything is very expensive.
Yeah, I've walked through there, and I think there are two villages like that.
As far as I know, it's
Just that one. All right.
and Trunyan.
Okay. So I've been there twice, but there was a lot of time in between. Actually, I've been there 3 times because I was there in 1992, but I don't remember that. So I've been there twice, and once we got a tour. You know, there was somebody there, and we gave him 50,000 to show us around. And while we were walking around, somebody climbed up into this tower and hit like a wooden bell.
We call it kulkul.
Cool.
Yeah, kulkul is kind of like a sign for people in a community. Usually, every community, we call it Banjar, will have a kulkul.
Yeah.
And then they will hit it with special tone. Special tone means special occasion.
You know what the one meant that we heard?
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
If I'm not heard it, but
No, I know.
then tung tung tung. Usually, it's for people together to have a meeting.
Yeah, when we were there, somebody climbed up,
Yeah.
hit it, and our guide said, that means someone just died.
It depends. And then if you heard it like this, tung 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 tung, with the very intense tone, it means that something happens in a village. For example, there's a robbery, there was a fire, and then one of the villager will hit that kulkul, and people will gather.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Kulkul.
Cool.
Kulkul.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So, do they have big yoga retreats here?
Here,
Yeah.
before the COVID, we have.
Well, yeah, I'm talking
Yeah,
about-
we have lots of yoga retreat happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a nice place. It's all isolated with rice fields.
That's right.
And so, before you came here 5 years ago. What did you do before you came here?
Before that, after I graduated from the university,
Which university?
Udayana University.
Udayana, in over by Uluwatu.
Some of the places are there, yeah, in Jimbaran, but the main university is in Denpasar.
Denpasar, I know where that is too. Yeah, yeah.
After I graduated, a week after I graduated, I worked as a customer service for an apartment rental in Paris.
In where?
Paris, France.
You did? No,
But I work
you
online.
worked here
Yeah, online, organizing apartments in Paris.
in Paris.
Yes.
Anything to do with Indonesia?
Actually, the owner is a Balinese who married with a French woman, and then he owns some apartment. At that time, Google were not so massive like today. At that time, internet just showed up at 2005, and then he owned some apartments, and then he asked his friend to join the website, and then it became quite big at that time. It has like more than 100 apartments, and then because of the fee for the staff back in Paris is very expensive. And
He
then,
hired you, yeah.
And then he tried to find some people who can work online from Bali. Yeah, I've been working there for like almost 8 or 9 years.
So you're pretty good with computers?
Not really. Learning by doing. I don't have computer before I work in that places. In that place, and then my boss teach me how to use computer, and then how to use. At that time, we still use Yahoo. Yahoo.
Yahoo. Yeah. Yahoo. Yeah.
MSN, Yahoo. Yeah.
And so, what was it like for you growing up in Bangli?
Growing up in Bangli is like the culture is still tight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, tight.
Yeah. You know, tight, and then you know all your neighbors, and then it becomes like a family, even though with your neighbors. If you have some celebration at your house, people will come to help you, and you just need to name what you need with your neighbor, and your neighbor will provide it for you. If you have ceremonies, they will come to your house, help you with everything.
So everybody is helping everybody else all the time.
Yeah, that's right.
And what did your parents do?
My father already passed away like 3 years ago. He was a government worker, just like an ordinary government worker. My mom is just a housewife. Sometimes he sell like traditional foods by the market. But right now, I asked her, just don't go. Just stay at home and then take care of us, take care of your grandchildren and everything. She's old and I don't want her to be too tired with this kind of situation. So I asked her to just stay at home, and then sometimes I pick her up and take her here, go around, and then ask her.
That's nice. And you have a house near here.
I rent a house.
Yeah. So now this is called Eco Villa. So what's your do you have any feeling about what do you think about the situation with trash in Bali?
Yeah. it's hard. It's hard to if you talk about trash, like it's like the major problem in every part of the world.
That's right.
That's right. And then our government, maybe you already noticed in every supermarket and everything, our government is trying to reduce the use of the single plastic.
Yeah.
So in the supermarket, they do not allow the supermarket prepare the plastic. They prefer to ask the customer to bring their own bags. And then each house right now is trying to separate their garbage into the non-recycle and recycle, something like that.
I know it's a global problem, and recycling, even when people try to recycle, a lot of times they emphasize collecting. When more important to emphasize the demand for what you're collecting. You see, like if because they start collecting and they fill warehouses with what they collected, but there's not enough to do with it. So the most important thing is to create markets, and there's a lot of places around the world, including in Bali and Indonesia, where people are making items from plastic straws and plastic, but that that can only cover so much. And then one of the big problems, I think, is mixing the organic and the inorganic, mixing plastic and organic trash. So we have the big problem here with landfill. What about the weather? Have you noticed any change in the weather since you were very young?
Yeah.
Like what?
In Bali, when I was a kid, I took a bath. Even in 12 noon, I still use warm water. Back time when I was like in junior high school and senior high school. But right now, it's not that as cold as it used to be in my hometown. Yeah, everywhere. I mean, here, even though in Bali, my hometown is known as like one of the most cold places in Bali.
Yeah.
But right now, it's quite hot. But in Bali, you will rarely find people having their air conditioner in their room. It's still quite cool if you compare it with other part of Bali.
Right. So, do you have any thoughts about climate change and what should be done, what is being done?
I think there are a lot of non-governmental organizations trying to help the government or even the local to solve the problem with the climate change. Like, I also have a friend from Australia. He has an organization, kind of like a business, but it also helps people to encourage people to plant trees. The organization called Forest Smoothie.
Yeah.
I often help him with making the shirts, and sometimes he has like an event, so I join his event, and then it kind of like when you buy a forest smoothie in the cafe of the partner of the forest smoothie, you also spare some of the benefits into planting a tree in some area in Indonesia. Yeah, which is good. Yeah.
Well, the last thing I wanted to ask you about is you're Hindu. We're Buddhist, but we go to God, what's that called?
We have
I know, Maluka.
Malukat.
Yeah, to get purified and feel very close to
Get wet.
Hinduism. Yeah, that's what I call it. I call it, yeah. The ceremony of getting wet, or of, if there's a lot of babies there and they're pouring water over them, the ceremony of crying babies. So, what do you think about what do you have to say about spirituality here?
We have, if you say it like level, we have a very high level of spirituality, especially for Hindu people.
Yeah.
So, as a Balinese, we have a belief that we call Pancha Srada. Pancha mean 5, Srada mean belief. So there are 5 basic beliefs for Balinese people. We believe in God. We believe in karma. We believe in Atman. Atman is the smallest part of God, which is in you. So we believe that there is God inside of you.
Yeah.
And the 4th one is we believe in Punarbawa, or you can say reincarnation. And
Oh, wait a minute, I didn't understand that.
Punarbawa, reincarnation.
Oh, reincarnation,
Yeah.
Punarbawa.
Yeah, or samsara. In Buddhist, you call it samsara, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, samsara just means this level of, just means existence, really.
We call it Punarbawa.
Punarbawa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I always just say reincarnation.
And the last one is moksha. Moksha is when you unite with the God.
Yeah, that's enlightenment, moksha.
Yeah, moksha.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And that list of 5 is called?
Moksha.
No, the list of 5.
Pancha Srada.
Pancha
Srada.
Sarada.
Yes.
Pancha Sarada. I hear these things, but I forget them. I'd have to write them and memorize them, but then I forget things a lot these days. I don't worry about it much. That's well said. And well, you're Brahmin, so how is that? Like in your village, you had a Brahmin temple.
Yes. Luckily, in my Banjar, the community.
Yeah.
All of the members of my community are Brahmins.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
All of them are Brahmin.
So, now tell about the different types of temples. Because there's the Pura Dalam. That's not caste. That's just the...
Kayangan 3. So, Pura Dalam, Pura Desa, and Pura Pusah. It's a symbol of Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. So usually in a big community or in a big village, they will have like a Dalam temple, Pusah temple, and Pura Desa. There are 3 main temples in a village. Usually Pusah and Pura Desa, sometimes they becoming one temple. So they will only have Pura Dalam and Pura Pusah and Pura Desa become one. So they have 2 main temples.
Oh.
Yeah. Usually Pura Dalam will attach to cemetery. Yeah. Usually Dalam, and on the next side of Dalam there will be like the public cemetery for the villagers. Yeah.
Is there a special Brahmin temple in your town?
Yes. Because of my community consists of Brahmin family, so we have a temple for Brahmin family in our community.
Because the temples that are for the caste, they're not public.
Yeah, that's right.
But the Pura Dalam, that's public.
That's public.
Right?
Yeah.
So the 3 types of temples you were talking about, all 3 are public?
Yes, that's right.
Right. But then you've got some private types, the caste type. What about, aren't there temples for occupation?
For what?
For like the the type of work.
What do you mean by type of work?
Well, like if someone works in the field.
Oh, they have it. So in like the field, they have subak, pura subak. So it's the temple for the farmers.
Yeah.
And then in the market, we call it melanting. It's the temple for the seller. Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
And then people have a temple in their home, a private
family temple.
Family temple. And you call them Sangha?
Sangha, some people call it Sangha, but for Brahmin family, we call it Suci.
Suci?
Or Mrajan. Mrajan.
Mrajan?
Yeah.
Suci just means holy.
Yeah, that's right. Some people call it Suci, some call it Mrajan.
Mrajan.
But common people will call it Sangha.
Sangha. Yeah. And then people will have a little tiny offering in their car.
Yeah.
Or even on a motorbike.
Yeah. Actually, it's not for the bike.
None for the bike?
Actually, it's not for the bike, but the essence is that may God always take care of us and may God always bless this car. So this car or this motorcycle will always lead us to the good way, to the good road, and keep us safe when we ride them.
Now, one thing really different about Hinduism here and India or anywhere, because there's a lot of Hinduism in America.
Yeah, that's right.
Small percent, but I know many Hindus in America and ashrams and stuff. Here, people always say, well, we have, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, but there's only one God. Do you say that?
We call it Sangyang Vidiwasa. So Sangyang Vidiwasa. So it depends on the function of the gods itself. So like Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, we call it Trimurti. So it based on the creation of this world. So there are Brahma, the creator, and Vishnu is the preserver, and Shiva is the transformer. So
Transformer, that's a good word for that.
Rather than the destructor.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Yeah,
that's very. I'll remember that. Transformer. That's good, because I know you say destroyer, we say, but also, so that's good. Transformer, good.
We have lots of gods.
But only in Bali do people say, especially if they're with tourists, they say, but there's only one God. Why is that?
It's hard to explain that. I don't know how to explain that.
I know why I think.
So what do you think about that?
I think it's because it's a Muslim country, and in order for to be recognized as a religion, you have to have one God.
If you see it through the governmental stuff, so you need to have one God to be admitted by the country.
Yeah. And see, they see Buddha as a god. Buddha's not a god. Buddha's a person.
Yeah, Buddha is a person, and you know that Buddha is one of the Bali, the Hindu avatar.
Yeah. Sure. Yes. I know, because here in Bali and in India, I always say Buddhism is just a child of Hinduism. And Buddha is, recognized, you call it as an avatar of Hinduism. Yeah, that's good. I appreciate your talking with me about all this. And would you do me a favor? And here, let's say goodbye and then I'll talk to you. So thank you very much, Gus.
Very welcome, Dave.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure to talk with you.
Yeah. Your English is very good.
Thank
so
you.
Why is your English so good? Not everybody's English is that good.
I learned English from very small. So my uncle was a local guide, and he was the one that made me want to learn English more and more. Even though at the university I'm kind of like a bad boy, skip the class and everything. But after I work here, I met a lot of people like you from around the world, from America, from Australia. It makes my English better and better each day.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, thank you.
But in general, I think Putu only hires people with good English. Because I mean, she was living in America,
Yeah.
you know. Okay, well, thanks a lot, and fare thee well. So thanks a lot, Gus Awan, not to be confused with Gus. And he's not the first Gus we've had a podcast with. And that was great. Really appreciate it. Let me tell you one other thing. After making that, I told him that one of the things I can't get to that I want to is substituting the pictures for the people on the podcast on Podbean, substituting their pictures in the life in Bali. I just have a picture of Katrinka and me that goes with it. And a few of them I put up the picture who was there because I had something that would work. And so I'm just gonna send him pictures that it has to be done a particular way, and it's just a little too time consuming for me. And he's going to prepare that stuff for me, and he's going to do some stuff with photos for me. So that's really good. I really appreciate that. Anyway, thanks a lot, Gus. That was good. And so, until next time, this has been a Cuke Audio presentation of Life in Bali. I'm DC Puba of Cuke Audio and Cuke Archives, coming to you from sleepy Sanur with Doggett Bandita, Feline Cuchita, and dear lovely Katrinka. Wishing you and yours and all of us a grand awakening.